Hello everyone and welcome back to a new dual rule update video and the last one of its kind for this year. However, if you've been here for a while, you probably assume that they're going to stick around for next year too, but we'll get into that in a little bit. I am here today to talk about my updates since last time and what I've gotten done since the update video I put up in November. Now, quite a lot has happened. NaNoWriMo finished after that video went live, and I ended NaNoWriMo with 71,237 words, all of which were for this project, as well as the 5-ish thousand I had of this project before Nano started. So I've written a lot of words and I am not done. So my first draft of this project was around 81,000 words. I think it was 80,806 or something, so just around 81,000 words. For this one, I'm currently sitting around 76,000 words, and like I said, I'm not done. I still have to write the end of the lightning trial, which is where Lid is at now, which is the last trial she will do before she and Niam meet. They're gonna meet at the lightning trial or right after the lightning trial, but still at the location of it. And I have started writing the trial. I started that on the last day of Nano, and now it's been 2 weeks and I have not continued. So hoping to do that, definitely will do that. That is a promise. Will do that before the stream on Saturday, the 18th. After that, the draft is done, but there are still things I haven't done. The thing I talked about in the last update video about changing the glasses into seashells in the beginning, I talked about changing a few other things that I now don't remember. None of that is done. If you go back and watch that video, I haven't fixed any of it, and we will see when I do that. But my plan for right now is to finish the lightning trial and then do the stream with you guys on Saturday. And then I think the plan marks that I have is to swap projects. Now, we have not decided on a deadline for when to be done with that, but I assume it will be January or February that we set as a deadline for finishing the reread of the other person's story. And the plan then is to give some feedback on what the other person has written, see if we've missed something important, see if something can be cut and stuff like that. But we're not going to be too hard on our critique. We're planning to do more of like, oh, I love this line, and then at the end of each chapter, the end of each segment, because Marcus hasn't split his into chapters yet, at the end there, make sort of bigger notes on what we just read, instead of going through each chapter and giving like nitty-gritty notes on like, oh, you could change this wording to that and change this wording to that. Instead, we're doing the little line, oh, I like this one, here's a little heart because I liked it, and then longer comments at the end of each section. I think that will work well, and I hope that it will also be, it will make us get through the story faster, more like a reader than a critique partner. Not sure if that's gonna help anything, but still hoping for that. And I'm also really excited to finally get to read Marcus's and get feedback on mine, because there are some things that I have shared with him that, oh, I really like what I did here, and there are some I haven't shared, and it will be nice to get new eyes on it, but still the eyes of someone who is very much in the story, if that makes sense with what I just said about him being more of a reader than a critique partner. It's fine. But a little bit on what I have done. Now, seeing as how I've written everything but the lightning trial of the first half, I've done a lot. I think I was sitting at around 41,000 words, I think, when I filmed my update in November. So I've written like 30,000 words more than that. And while I don't remember exactly where I left off, it's still the same story. It's still gonna be important for the next step. So, some things I have added in the second draft that I might have already talked about. Ignore it if I have. I have added a scene in the beginning of Lid making it to the mainland where she is first of all harassed by a guard who she doesn't know at that point is a guard, and then watches as this guard takes the law into his own hands over an alleged thief and decides to cut that person's hand off without any trial, without any witnesses, anything. And that throws Lid for a loop because she knew that humans were bad. In her mind, humans were evil. Humans kicked out all the shapeshifters from the mainland. Also her mom, being human, sure, was raised by humans, couldn't stand staying. And there's also things about like something happened with her brother, something about the royal family's evil, that kind of thing. And so this sort of cements that to Lyd that, oh, humans are evil, great, I'm not gonna trust them. So I'm really happy when I did that. I've also changed things with the metal trial. I changed the first third of that trial into something much better because it makes more sense, although now I don't really remember why that made more sense. Because in the first draft, Lyd in the first third of the metal trial made like gauntlets or like not handcuffs, but like big gauntlets that were magnetic and helped her climb through the second part of the metal trial. And she made those because she had a dream, and maybe this thing in front of me I should do what I did in the dream, sort of. But that was back when dreams were going to be an important part of the story, and they no longer are. So I changed that, and she still makes like bracelets and anklets now, but it's more of a jewelry tone to it, and I don't know if that makes sense. It makes more sense. It made more sense when I wrote it. We shall see if that stays. Inferno Valley stayed mostly the same. I didn't change a lot. I still feel like my ground trial at the end is very thin compared to some of the other ones. Because at the start of Inferno Valley, Lyd and Teb wake up in the forest to a strange sound, and they take off, and then suddenly the forest is changing from like pine trees and moss and normal forest, quote unquote, into like vines and strangely colored flowers, and like it doesn't look the same at all. And then they get attacked by the vines, they get pricked by them, they get poisoned and start hallucinating. Run away from that, the fire starts, she thinks Teb dies, and then when she gets through the fire with the help of Niamh, who she doesn't know is actually a real person because she thinks she's hallucinating, her ground trial is, oh right, I picked this flower from a thorn at the first part of this. I'm gonna die now because I have no energy left, everything's on fire, I barely crawl out of there alive. I'm gonna dig a little hole in the ground, I'm gonna put that in, I'm gonna cover it back up and pour the last of my water over it. And then she falls asleep. And then she wakes up and there is a vine crawling out of the ground, proving that she succeeded because she also woke up, so she succeeded. But it's too thin and I don't know what to do with it, but I also don't know how to add a third trial to that because she does all of hers back to back. Unlike Niamh, who at least gets to sleep in between, she does all three of them in one go. And that's something we need to talk about, me and Marcus, and also maybe Alice, on Saturday. After that, I had a huge part in the first draft where she met this girl on a farm, and the girl's parents were completely unhelpful, but the girl helped her out, gave her a basket of some food, gave her a map, because they had like 15,000 maps in the first draft. Now I have one, which is already lost at this point. And I cut all that and instead went not straight to, but with less of a time skip, made it to the air trial. Although before then, this is all over the place. Before then, Lyd stops at a way house and she meets some people there who are actually kind of nice to her, but there are also guards around and the guards are looking for someone and it's a little bit something. But after that, she does the air trial where she meets a girl named Sandy, which was the name of the girl on the farm before. I just moved the name, and it's a really nice contrast there. I talked about that in my video that went up on Monday about a clip a day for NaNoWriMo, where there's a real big contrast between Lyd's life where she grew up, where shapeshifters all work together and towards the same goals, and they, you know, everyone, one for all and all for one, everyone, if I benefit, you benefit, we're a community. Contrast between that and Sandy's life, where yes, they all live in the same valley, but it's every man for themselves. It's, I don't deal with your issues, you don't deal with mine, I don't even tell you what my issues are, because if I show myself weak, you will take advantage of me. And there are some really good discussions there, I feel like, and a line that I talked about in that video, I'll link it up above, where Sandy basically says, I don't remember the exact quote, but she basically says, I will not add my sob story to my neighbors and they won't add theirs to mine. We all have our own issues. And for Lyd, this is so weird because if all of these people in this valley worked together, they would be doing so much better, in her opinion. And it's nice. And in that, we also get to see her leadership abilities, which we talked about in the last stream, about how Lyd should have these leadership qualities and she should be able to lead people, basically. And where that comes from, I'm not really sure, because that's not a role she's had back home. Although, maybe it's just because she has that viewpoint on things. She's seen things done that way, so it would be easy for her to lead people to do things her way / that way. I don't know. Either way, those come out there, and then she makes it to Norport, which is the coastal city on the east coast, where she is experiencing people. People are great. There are some good people, some bad people, and at this point we have seen good people and bad people separate, and now we see a mix, basically. And we see guards being corrupt again, which is apparently a theme, and just some good stuff. I kept a fair bit of what I had from before. I changed a few things, and there are probably definitely things that are inconsistent with what we've said in the streams, like what we've written down about the religion, for example. I might have described what a priest wears. Are they even called priests? What a priest wears in a church he's in, but I'm not sure that corresponds to what we put in the Google Drive folder. But I ended up keeping the thing where she gets outed, where she outs herself basically as both a shapeshifter and the heir, or someone with magical powers, which could only mean she is an heir. And she gets shot out of the sky and her arm is badly mangled, and I think it will end up being amputated because it's that bad off. So I'm still keeping that from draft 1, and I said in the last video, I said that, oh, I might have to cut some things. I know they say kill your darlings, but I don't want to lose that. And I don't know why I was worried I was going to lose that, because at least the mangling of the arm happens on this side of her meeting Liam and not afterwards. So I don't know about that. But that is still staying, and then she has now made it up to the lightning trial and she's trying to figure it out. That's where I'm at. So I probably don't have more than a couple thousand words left to do. There is still a chance that this draft will be shorter than draft 1, but we shall see. Now, like I said, Marcus and I do intend to swap our stories soon, and I think I won't be changing anything I've already written, because I am kind of eager for us to get started on reading each other's instead of me having to reread mine again and do the changes. We should talk about that. We should maybe figure that out on Saturday and see what Marcus's opinion is, because we haven't fully talked about that. At the same time, I do have a small list in my head. I haven't written it down. I do have a small list of these are things I should probably change, like the glass in the beginning that breaks should be seashells instead. Probably some things about the religion and stuff like that. So we'll see. Maybe we'll fix those things into January and then swap and then reread in February, March. We'll see. Either way, writing the second draft has been a lot of fun. It's gone a lot faster for me than writing the first draft, because the first draft took like 3 months and this will have taken about 2. So a lot faster. And it's just been a lot of fun, and I've gotten to add a lot of fun things, and probably not fun for Lyd, but fun for me, and hopefully fun for a reader. There is a whole big section in the beginning where, I say big section, might not be a big section, but there's a whole thing in the beginning where they found out that she is the heir and she's gonna go on the quest, and they're like, okay, what do we pack and bring, and what information can we possibly gather before we go? And she learns about money, because the shapeshifters, they trade. I shoe your horse, you fix my roof. They trade my skill for your skill, basically. And she learns about money, and this is a very foreign concept to her. It's an entirely foreign concept to her. And Tev, who has been trading with humans, but again has been trading, he hasn't really been selling things to humans, finds out about money, or he already knows about money, but he gets to see money and he gets to talk about money, and he's such a dork, and I really like him. And it's really sad that he goes missing halfway through Lid's story, and I look forward to reading what he's like in Niam's side of the story, but also the reunion of him and Lid somewhere in the second half is going to be intense, because she will have thought he is dead for at least a few weeks. The timeline is iffy. We should talk about that on Saturday too. The timeline is iffy, but she will have thought he's dead, burned and dead and gone for a long time, and she will meet him again. And she might think that's a fever dream as well. She's going to be really worse for wear. Her arm is going to be completely infected and stuff like that. So I'm not sure she's going to believe it in the beginning, and it's going to be really fun and really awful. And I am so excited to keep going with the story though. And again, really excited to read Marx's, excited for him to read mine and make plans for the future. And yeah, we'll do the reread of each other's, or the read, because we haven't read them. I'll read his, he'll read mine, and then take it from there. And I think after that we're planning to jump into the second half. We might end up deciding to go back and change some things first. We shall see. But anyway, on Saturday, December 18th, 1 p.m. UTC, we will be doing our next check-in stream. Now, I didn't really think I had a lot of things I wanted to talk about in that stream, but the timeline is definitely one that we should discuss. I have no idea where Lid is at in her timeline. I know where she's at in her timeline, but the dates and stuff don't add up. I don't think each part of her journey takes as long as I've said it does. In both directions, it might take longer and it might take shorter, and so that we need to figure out, and also see how that merges with Niam's story or timeline. So there is that. There is deciding what our next step is. Something else I feel like I already said in this video that I now can't remember. And yeah, I'm sure Mark has a long list of things that he wants to talk about, and I will of course have his video as well as the stream linked down below if you want to check those out. But anyway, that is all I have for you today. I hope to see you on Saturday, December 18th, 1 p.m. UTC, link down below, and talk to you then. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back with another video soon, so I'll see you then. Bye!